I may have gotten injured in my leg. The rain has come. We've been waiting for rain for a little bit. It was disappearing off the forecast. So stoked that it's come. I had a bit of an incident with Angus injuring my leg yesterday with the Hedgetrimmers, but I'm okay. I know I had to get the family to help to get the kumara row ready, which I'd been working on down there with Angus. Things we didn't get to before Christmas. Hey guys, welcome to Wild Hope Homestead. Well, it's just raining lightly now. The rain's almost stopped now, but hopefully we're going to get some more good rain today. We just got our kumara planted just in time before the rain came, so that's really good. It was a bit of a mission because I may have gotten injured in my leg, under my knee. The whole family helped out. We got the row finished, weeding the row out the front in the front plot, and I'd been dumping old chicken bedding on there, which was just the right amount to top the whole row nicely, to give it some good organic matter. And I just had been putting it in piles wherever there was a space. And then the kids helped me spread out barley straw over the row this morning to help keep the moisture in and stop the weeds. And then Steve planted the kumara shoots for me. The kumara sprouting has been slow. I only started sprouting one kumara back in, when was it? In winter, end of winter. But they can take quite a while, and this one was very slow to get going. So I've only got 10 shoots that are rooted enough to plant. It's still got lots of shoots on it, but they're not big enough, and they haven't been sitting in water to root yet. I've also just planted out the Chuck's winter squash seedlings. I'd sowed a few more bush beans in trays, just another 12, 2 6-cell packs, because I didn't really start enough bush beans in the trays last time to fill in all the space that we had. So I've just planted out whichever ones of those are big enough, and we've just got 3 of those left now to plant when they get a little bit bigger, so for protection against slugs and snails. And then we've also got sunflowers that I started. These ones are red ones. You might be able to tell by their beautiful red stems. I've started red and white and a couple of yellow ones. What on earth else did I sow? Okra, and some more sunflowers. I sowed a bunch of okra. I forgot about that. I have to find somewhere to put those as well. That's okay. There will be no gaps. We don't have any peppers growing this year because I didn't. By the time we got back from our overseas trip, there wasn't really enough time to start them, and I thought I'd just buy some seedlings, and then because I'm not used to buying seedlings, I forgot to factor that in before Christmas, and then it was getting closer to Christmas and I just didn't want to do any more errands in town when it was really busy, so we'll just buy peppers to eat this year and fill in the gaps with all the other things that I'm growing. So while it's not raining, we'll just have a quick look at how things are going. are doing well, starting to get up their strings after just a couple of days. Was it 2 or 3 of the pea seedlings, climbing purple peas that I planted, got eaten by slugs and snails. They seem to be the favourite, judging by all the holes. But there's still actually 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually of them. Some of the original ones survived, so that's good. Climb up the string, dude. These first lot of bush beans are doing really well, looking nice and lush. These 2 are new ones that I just planted, and these little ones here. The butternuts are taking a little while to get going. That one looks good. I did have a couple down there that are struggling a bit more. I just fertilised them the other day, so hopefully they'll pick up soon. They were looking a bit under-fertilised in their pots from the potting mix, so also needing more food than usual. There's 1. Did I plant? Oh, 1 there. And 1 over there. The tomatoes are doing really well now. You wouldn't know it from what they look like when I planted them. Basil's doing a lot better too. And then I planted 2 Chuck's Winters down the end there. They're not going to have a lot of space because they're going to have to share with these beans, tomatoes, beans, and parsley. I don't know why I put the parsley there. I guess I thought it would be out of the way. Celery over here. I almost forgot about these tomatoes the other day. They have to be tied to the fence until they can get up to the mesh with bigger gaps, and then I can just weave them in and out. And also the ground cherries have started self-seeding in here, which is good. I pulled a whole bunch of them out that were right back by the tomatoes because they wouldn't have had enough space to grow. But we technically only need, I could only fit 1 or 2 plants in that. But we'll just let those go for now. The orac is going nuts. I've been trying to pinch it back to keep it bushy, and this tomato here looks like it's probably a cherry tomato. I'm not quite sure what it is. It was a volunteer, but Angus helped me get a stake in for it. And the cucumbers are taking a little bit of time to get going as well. I did give some of those some more fertiliser a couple of days ago too, so hopefully they'll pick up. These tomatoes are looking a lot better now that the onions are out of the way, and I gave those fertiliser too. They were looking pretty spindly because they were getting a bit shaded out, and probably a bit much competition for nutrients with the onions, but now that the onions are out, they should take off well. The gherkin cucumbers are looking a bit better, but yeah, we really need some decent rain, decent water to get them going. And 1 last giant cabbage that I haven't harvested yet. And then I still have to deal with the rest of these weeds in here and over there. I just realised when I said an accident with the hedge trimmer, that sounds kind of bad. What I mean is the actual, not a power hedge trimmer, manual hedge trimmer clippers. So what happened is Angus and I were out there. He was helping me to deal with the giant flax in the corner because he likes to demolish things and hack into things, so he was willing to help with that. I regret planting that flax in the corner. It's a native New Zealand flax, Phormium tenax, sort of a purple form of it, which is very pretty, and it attracts the tuis, the native tui birds, which is good, but it's huge. I can't explain how big it is. It's in its ideal climate and it's in good soil. We've cut it back previously, but it keeps growing more sections or divisions along the sides, and then it drapes over the veggie garden and over the ground underneath where it's growing, which is not ideal because it's the leaves, when the leaves die back, they all kind of fall down low to the ground, and even the good leaves are drooping down as well, so it makes it difficult to get in there. With a line trimmer, the fibres are so tough that they just get stuck in the hedge trimmer or the line trimmer, so it's been contributing to weediness down there at the back of that row in the front plot. And I would really rather like to get rid of the whole thing, but that would be an absolute mission in itself. So we're just trying to hack it back. And Angus was using the hedge trimmers to cut the leaves, and I was working the weeds around him, to the side, behind him, and sort of to the side of him. I shouldn't have been so close to him because he does get very enthusiastic with things. And I don't know exactly what happened, but he chopped a leaf, and then he must have also not gone quite the way through it, so he must have been pulling back with a lot of force, and all of a sudden he went stumbling backwards with the hedge trimmers, and with the force of him suddenly getting pulled back as the leaf came off, he whacked into my knee, just below my knee, with the metal part of the hedge trimmers where the bolts are. So that metal whacked with force into my knee and knocked me to the ground, and it's swollen, and it's probably just going to take a little while to fix. It's just sore and awkward. So the family are helping out with a few more things at the moment, but I'm okay. Life carries on. Look, that looks good, doesn't it? So here's what we've been up to out the front. Carrots. So it looks a lot more spacious now, actually. We've got this row done, all nice and fixed up and weeded, and Steve planted the kumara. We've only got 10 at the moment, but hopefully more are to come. And then Steve's helped out with this area over here, whacking back the weeds. And then I've been tidying up. This is our fig tree here. There was a branch that had gone down on the ground and layered, which means like rooted into the ground, and turned into its own little tree. So that was about there. So we could have left it there, but it wasn't that close to the fence, so it would have just ended up getting in the way of walking up and down this row, like this one already does. I have to prune that back because the branches get really long. That little, I think it's a type of sort of camellia, or something similar to a camellia anyway. That's actually resprouted from a stump. But I thought about trying to get that out and planting the fig tree close to the fence, a bit more out of the way, but that would be too much of a mission, and this will actually provide better screening from the wind and give a bit more privacy as well as that gets bigger, because it's more of a thick hedgy type plant, and it's deciduous. It's not going to lose its leaves in the winter like the fig trees do. So then we cleaned up a bunch of roots and stuff. There was also a grapevine that wasn't very nice that I've been trying to get rid of since we came here. And so this was all this kind of raised up, and there were some bricks in there, like an old edge of an old garden that maybe went along this way. So we've cleared up a lot around here. And we were just trying to finish getting out the weeds and dealing with this flax down the end here. This is the scene of the incident. Because it's so big. I was down here dealing with weeds down here, and Angus was hacking in there. But, I mean, it's almost, I think it's actually wider than it is tall. I cannot tell you how tall it is, but it's significantly taller than me. It's just as tall as the fig tree right now, or taller. And it must be from those are hanging, starting to hang over onto the second row, the flower stalks now. I mean, it's more than 3 metres wide. From where the leaves end, I mean, it's possibly taking up 4 metres from where the leaves end, but anyway, the base of it just keeps growing, these sections, and so we were trying to hack out some of those, but you've got to hack back the leaves to just be able to reach there, and these dead leaves won't even pull out nicely because they're stuck back in the middle somewhere. So everything has to be cut, and apparently we need to find safer ways to do that, or at least have just one person over here working at a time. So my plan for this area behind me that gets really weedy is to keep it covered once we've finished dealing with that last section of weeds around the flax, and get the flax leaves out of the way enough so that we can deal with them. Cover the ground with a tarp or plastic or whatever to try and knock back the weeds, and then get some mulch to put on the ground. This has been the least tamed part of the garden for a while. The last bit that I really haven't ever quite got around to properly dealing with weeds and awkward things growing in there. So it'll be good. We've got a lot of dead weeds that have been knocked back or pulled out, just sitting on top here at the moment. But we'll try and get everything looking more tidy. At the moment I'm just enjoying having space. We can actually pull a wheelbarrow in there and have heaps of space to move around, which is nice. Because before, because it was sort of raised up on a bit of a hill there, it was a fairly narrow bit where you could walk through on level ground, so this is a big improvement already.